Welcome everyone, Professor Leis here. So in this video, I want to walk you through and explain the prompt for essay number 1. So let me go ahead and read this here and we can elaborate as we go. For essay 1, we will compose an institutional autobiography based on practice session 1 in institutional autobiography on page 12 of Habits of the Creative Mind. To become more confident and effective writers, we must examine our past experiences with reading and writing to determine how they have influenced our perceptions of ourselves as readers and writers. One of the habits of mind we are learning to cultivate is reflectiveness. This first essay project of the semester will challenge us to reflect on our past experiences to better understand our present attitudes and assumptions. So the institutional autobiography practice session, that was found at the end of On Unlearning, one of the readings from Habits of the Creative Mind. And in that practice session, we were challenged to examine some of our key formative experiences with reading and writing in school to create a sort of personal history of those experiences to see how they have influenced our attitudes and assumptions about who we are as readers and writers coming into this particular course. Everything comes from somewhere, so it's not like we're just born thinking this way about ourselves as readers and writers. These attitudes, they come from experiences that we've had. So that's what this essay is challenging us to do. So let's continue on here. So the challenge here is to write a multi-paragraph essay that recounts and examines some of your most formative experiences with reading and writing in school. As Miller and Jurecic explain, the goal is to reconstruct your personal history as a reader and as a writer in school. They go on to write that your autobiography should present an account of both moments of learning and moments of unlearning or frustration. Questions to consider. Have you had any teachers who have played a significant role in your development as a reader and as a writer, whether positive, negative, or both? Was there a specific book or writing project that figures deeply into your development? Did you enjoy reading or writing in your free time? Was there a turning point in your education where your attitudes toward reading and or writing changed, for better or for worse? You don't need to create an exhaustive account of your education in chronological order. Instead, try to focus on 2 to 3 of the most important examples or experiences to describe and analyze in depth. Why were these specific examples or experiences so important now that you're looking back on them? So there's a lot of room for interpretation here in how we approach this. So we want to focus on our experiences that involve reading and writing throughout our education leading up to this particular English course that we're in currently. Okay, so we're coming into this class with a whole set of assumptions and beliefs about ourselves as readers and writers. And so as I mentioned, those attitudes didn't just come from nowhere. They came from experiences that we've had. So we're challenged to look back at some of our key experiences and really try to break them down to understand how those experiences have influenced our current perceptions of ourselves. So you might look back at some of the important teachers you've had, whether that was you had a good relationship with the teachers or bad relationships, or maybe it was kind of hit or miss, maybe it was kind of fraught in that way. You might look at some assignments that you can recall working on, so whether it be an essay project or something else that involved reading or writing. Maybe there's a specific book or series of books that you enjoyed reading outside of class, but perhaps maybe when it came time to reading inside of class, you struggled. Maybe you didn't connect with the assigned readings. So why? What was going on there? Maybe you have experience journaling or writing poetry outside of school, but when it came time to actually write in class, maybe that was a challenge for you. or not, it just depends on your experiences. We've all had different experiences, and some of us might be coming from different educational backgrounds. Whether we were homeschooled or perhaps we didn't finish high school, that could be something. Maybe we were educated in a different country before we moved to the United States. That could be something. Maybe English is not your first language, and so you struggled with building confidence in speaking and reading and writing in English. Maybe when you were in school. Whatever the case is, that's something to think about. Now, most of us were impacted by COVID and our schooling in some way. And so that maybe played a role in how you view yourself as a reader and as a writer. So that could be something that you would want to look at. But the key is to focus on experiences with reading and writing in our educations up until entering this specific English course. So that's what we're challenged to do here. Now, by the time we submit the polished draft of this, here are our formatting parameters. It should be a minimum of 750 words. It should be at least 6 paragraphs, and it should be formatted according to MLA guidelines, which means 12-point Times New Roman font, double-spaced, with 1-inch margins on all 4 sides, and if it's applicable, a properly formatted works cited page. So some of you might choose to quote from a book or something that maybe had a lot of meaning for you. And if that's the case, then you'd want to create a works cited page. Now, don't get caught up on MLA format right now. We're entering this class as beginners and as students, and so I don't expect you all to understand MLA format, all the particulars, right at the beginning. So it's something that we'll be working toward. What's more important is that we're reaching this minimum word count and we're writing at least 6 paragraphs. You can write more than 6. We just don't want to have fewer than 6. The same is true of this word count. You can write more than 750 words. We just don't want to write fewer than 750 words rather, sorry. This essay project is your chance to put into practice all of the concepts we've been reading and learning about so far this term. Be sure to review your notes and reread important selections we've covered from Habits of the Creative Mind. Resist your familiar habits and practices as writers. Try something new and exciting. Follow your curiosity, take risks, and attempt to have fun while composing this essay. And I don't mean these comments here sarcastically. I really do mean these things. So we're resisting the limiting nature of the 5-paragraph essay, which means we're going to need to resist some of our familiar habits and practices as writers. I'm encouraging you to try some new things in your writing that maybe you didn't have the freedom or didn't even have awareness of that you could try in your writing. So I want you all to take risks, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Take it out. We'll try something different, right? But I want you all to try to approach this in a different way than maybe you're used to. All right, y'all. Well, if you have any questions, please let me know. Send me a message in Canvas or send me an email. I'm really looking forward to reading these essays. I'll catch you all later.